All right, to the NBA now. Cleveland.
Let's do it.
Getting rocked lately. Kevin Durant making sure that continued. Cleveland Cavaliers first in the Eastern Conference coming into this thing, having lost 3 straight. Donovan Mitchell, we're going to see him in a moment. Trying to avoid a 4-game skid. Jared Allen. Wow. Just listen, baptizing.
Big human.
Just washing Devin Booker in the nourishing liquid of Lake Finn to dunk on you. And listen, like we got the ball getting swung around. Kevin Durant splashing a triple. He made 4 threes. Slim Reaper, he hates that nickname. I apologize already. It's
easy money.
Yeah, sure.
At least that's his Twitter handle, right?
13, yeah, I can't finish the other part. 13 points in the first half. Suns lead by 11 at the break. Durant, the jumper, little fall away, still the size, working on Evan Mobley. He had 29 points, Durant did, in the second half. Durant's going to get that bucket and one. Told you, made 4 threes. We got 3 the hard way. The Suns would lead by 9 going into the fourth. Devin Booker said of Durant's game it was a masterpiece. Okay, what's the opposite of that? Because that's what Donovan Mitchell had. He was 2 of 18 from the floor, 11% field goal percentage, a season-low 7 points, took 8 threes, made none of them. Dude, we're trying to figure it out too. Well, shrug at us. We don't know. Durant, another 3, 42 points to go with 6 rebounds and 8 dimes. Woo. The Cavs have lost 4 straight for the first time this season.
All right, moving on to Cade Cunningham and the Pistons making a trip to Dallas to take on the Mavericks. We'll pick this up in the fourth. Mavs up 4. P.J. Washington. Oh, he's wide open here. He's going to drill the 3. That's 2 plus 1 to make it a 7-point game. He had 27. Later on, Cunningham doing moves that are cleaner than the Board of Health. And he goes off the board here for the hoop and the harm. That made it a 4-point game after the free throw. Next Mavs possession, Spencer Dinwiddie. He's a straight-up baller. Been doing this forever. He led Dallas in scoring with 31. They're up 6 now. Next Pistons possession, Cunningham finds Malik Beasley. For 3s, please. He was 5 of 11 from downtown with 16 points. Moments later, Shooter saves the loose ball out of bounds, but to the wrong team. And Kai Jones says, thank you. I'll throw it down like dominoes. Mavs up 6, 27 seconds left. Cunningham says, we need a bucket, so I'll get us a bucket. He had 35, y'all. Straight hooping this year. Pistons down 3, most improved player, in my opinion. 21 seconds left. Klay Thompson finds Williams. And yes, sir, you can warm them buses up, layup into foul. Mavericks win 123-117. They've now won for the second time in March and for the first time at home since February 27th. Here is how the Western Conference standings are currently looking like. And despite the Mavericks dub, they still sit outside the play-in tournament with the Suns owning the head-to-head tiebreaker.
All right, let's go down to Miami. I want to go to there. It's not spring up here. 32 degrees up here in Bristol this morning. Well, we got the Rockets in town. Amen Thompson's back in the lineup. And so is Andrew Wiggins. My goodness. For the Heat, Wiggins tying this thing at 43 and then proving you can get 2 any which way. How about the hard way? Bang. Just drove all over Houston, which is hard to do driving in Houston. Y'all got to figure out your traffic situation. It's truly terrible. Wiggins, another 3. He had 30 points, his second most in the game this season, most in the Heat uniform. 3rd Heat player since 2000 with 20 points on perfect shooting in a quarter. Chris Bosh, LeBron James, the others. Let's go to the 4th. Fred VanVleet said, I'm still not 100%. He's coming off of an ankle injury.
It's scary then.
If this is Fred VanVleet at less than 100, come on. Because he made 9 threes. More like Fred Van 3. Yes, I said it. Here's Thompson. This dude gets off.
Yeah, he's so athletic.
Eye level.
Ridiculous.
Eye level with the rim. That's insane. Career high 7 steals in this game. Rockets up 10. VanVleet had 37 points. Houston's won 9 straight. That's the longest active streak in the NBA.
Yes, it is. All right, let's go to the Grizzlies visiting the Clippers with Ja Morant out. We picked this up late in the first. Clips down 3. James Harden still catching dudes with this move. Yeah, that's a 3 and the foul. Second quarter, Grizzlies up 4. Scottie Pippen Jr. styling like his daddy. 3s, please. And there's his dad. I had to bring him up. He loved it. Pippen had 15. Third quarter, we're tied at 69. Norman Powell having such a great season. That's 3. Bomber, he knows he's having a great season. He loves it. LA up 3 later in the third. James Harden with the patent. Step back, step back. You don't know me like that. Clippers take an 8-point lead after the 3. We stay in the third. The Beard game, still wrong. Harden had 30. His 10th straight game with 20 points, his longest streak since 2021. Fourth quarter, LA up 13, and they're feeling themselves now. Batum, Venmo's Derrick Jones Jr. for the slam. Transaction complete. Bench loves it. Later in the fourth, Kawhi Leonard's float game, very pure. Leonard had 23. He now has 5 straight 20-point games, his longest streak of the season as they win by 20. In the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continues to ball out of control, dropping 30 and passing some all-time greats like Kobe Bryant and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the 6th longest streak of 20-point games in a season. And down in South Beach, Rockets beat the Heat for their 9th straight win. Fred VanVleet was cooking like bacon grease, y'all, dropping 37 on a season-high 9 3-pointers. Now, despite the Mavericks' upset over the Pistons, the Suns still hold the last play-in spot due to a tiebreaker, even after the Suns caught a huge dub against the Cavs, giving them their 4th straight loss. It's great to have NBA analyst Quentin Richardson in studio with us. Q, the Cavs have now dropped 4 straight. That's the 2nd longest losing streak in the NBA, but hey, it did come with KD bringing out barbecue chicken, scoring 42 on their head. But I digress. Do you have any concerns over this Cleveland team that they're not as good as their record?
This has been a concern of mine the whole season. They've been leading wire to wire for the whole NBA, but even still, I still don't see them beating the Celtics. I still struggle to see them beating the fully loaded Milwaukee Bucks. And when you see a game like last night where the biggest guy on their team is Donovan Mitchell. He's their superstar. They go as far as he can take them. And last night, when he struggled, they didn't have enough guys back him up and step up to the plate to fill in his gaps. He was 2 for 18. That was a tough game for him last night, and you saw what KD did.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of where you hope Darius Garland can step in there and do something. Evan Mobley, they really want to lean on him. So if they're going to win a championship, Evan Mobley has to do that dang thing. All right, so from a losing streak to a winning streak, Rockets have won 9 in a row. And honestly, y'all shouldn't be surprised. Ime Udoka usually brings out barbecue chicken in March. Last year, they won 11 straight in March, but they weren't as high up in the standings as they currently are at this point in time. Now, are they as real as they appear to be with the Rockets winning this much?
I think they are as real. I think Ime, he's gotten there, he's done an unbelievable job. They're a little bit ahead of schedule, I feel, as far as like being this high ranked and doing as well as they're doing in the rankings. But they got a great young squad, man. They got great pieces, Amir Thompson, and then, you know, Jalen Green, Alperine Şengün. Then they got great vets. They got a champion in Jeff Green to be on that bench and keep those guys in order. So I like the way they're put together, but they're taking on the identity of their coach, Ime. He's a former player, a former teammate of mine, and he was a hard-nosed player, and that's how he has his team playing.
Man, I would love to see what this Rockets team can do in the playoffs. Young, but they are some hoopers. Houston puts that win streak on the line tomorrow against Denver.
Put all that together last night, your Houston Rockets now have a 2-game lead for the 2nd seed in the West. Houston, by the way, hosts Denver tomorrow night. The Lakers were off last night. They are currently the 3 seed behind Houston. Speaking of, Lakers head coach J.J. Redick said Thursday he's hopeful that LeBron James and forward Rui Hachimura will both be eligible to return tonight against the Chicago Bulls. James has been out of action since the Lakers lost to the Celtics back on March 8th because of a groin strain. They then lost 3 in a row before winning 3 straight, before then losing to the Bucks on Thursday. As NBA senior writer Tim Bontemps joins us. What's the latest on LeBron's status, Tim, for tonight in LA?
Well, as you said, Hannah, LeBron is questionable to come back tonight and play 2 weeks after suffering that groin strain in Boston against the Celtics. And over the last couple weeks, Hannah, the goal for the Lakers has just been to survive what's been a very difficult schedule, having to play a couple games against both Denver and Milwaukee, having 6 games in 8 days as a result of some rescheduled games because of the fires back in January. And the fact that the Lakers were able to hold serve, get through that stretch at 500, and stay in the top 4 spots in the Western Conference, that's a huge win. As you just laid out there in that intro, Rockets are in 2nd. Denver is in there. You've got Memphis, the Warriors, the Wolves. There's a ton of teams fighting for position. So the Lakers want to get LeBron back, whether it's tonight or in the next couple days, healthy, have him ready to go for a stretch run that's going to feature a lot of difficult games. They have one of the most difficult schedules down the stretch, and then position themselves to stay in that top 6, potentially in the top 4 spots to get home court advantage in the first round and try to make a deep playoff run. And as for Luka Doncic, Hanu, who missed Thursday's game, 2nd night of a back-to-back against the Bucks, he is probable to play with that ankle he's been dealing with. He should be on the court tonight against the Bulls as well. We'll see if LeBron is out there with him.
You mentioned the Warriors a moment ago, so let's get to that Steph Curry injury. Obviously, that's another big factor with all of these teams bunched up and looking for positioning. He is not traveling with Golden State after suffering a pelvic contusion on Friday, not going to play in Atlanta tonight, set to be reevaluated on Monday. An MRI after the injury did reveal no structural damage. He was kind of banged up regardless of that injury. I know he had been questionable for a game earlier. So what's the situation with them as they're trying to keep Steph healthy for a playoff run, and yet they're battling to stay out of that play-in?
Yeah, the Warriors are dancing on a fine line, Hannah. And as you mentioned, Steph Curry played on Monday against the Denver Nuggets. He then sat out Tuesday against the Bucks in a game that Steve Kerr said he needed to give him off to try to get him some energy to go into this stretch run. Now, obviously, a couple days later, he has this fall, suffers this injury, and now he's going to miss more time. But for the Warriors, they need to be careful because you can't have Steph Curry out for an extended period of time because that will sink their chances of having any kind of a long-term run. But at the same time, as you mentioned, what they don't want to do is find themselves in the play-in having to play, say, the Clippers or the Wolves in a 7-8 game that, yes, if you win it, you then get into the playoffs, but you could lose, potentially be in an 8-9 game against, say, the Sacramento Kings and go home without even getting into the playoffs, or you have to expend a ton of energy just to get into the playoffs to have to play the top seed at Oklahoma City Thunder. So for an older team, it's obviously leaning on Steph Curry. They now need Jimmy Butler to help carry them while Steph is out managing this injury.
Yeah, they're only one game right now ahead of the Clippers and the Timberwolves. Tim Bontemps, thanks for laying it out for us.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like, right? Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here,